Hi, this is Kevin Thomas, and welcome to the At Home Film Festival. The Criterion channel, you must subscribe now if you don't already have, or give it a trial because they've got a really terrific program, and they are saluting Howard Hawks, a director that many of today's people don't know who he is, but he's behind so many classics. He helps so many stars elevate their careers. I have 7 movies for you, one for each day of the week. Let's take a look at them and discover why Howard Hawks is an underrated director. Let's go now. As mentioned, all these movies are on the Criterion channel. And one of them, we're doing Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Now, this is actually, I think Howard saw Marilyn Monroe in a light that others hadn't seen before. She was in a couple of his other movies in smaller roles, but this is like one of her first big roles, and after this, she became the household name. This is the movie that brought us her big number that everybody remembers. When you think about Marilyn Monroe, you always think of this number, Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. This helped launch her career, actually catapulted into the stratosphere. Sadly, though, when she made this, she was just a contract player at the studio, so she didn't make a lot of money. Her co-star, Jane Russell, was deemed the star, and she did make a lot of money. Sad for Marilyn's career, but it did lead her to getting a lot of other bigger roles. Howard Hawks discovered and found out and made us see that Marilyn is beautiful and talented and a great comedic actress. Maybe that wouldn't have happened so quickly if it wasn't for Howard Hawks. Howard Hawks also did the movie To Have and Have Not, which introduced us to Lauren Bacall. She co-starred in this movie with Humphrey Bogart, and this started their lifelong love for each other. So the chemistry is there because it was there in real life. Now, interesting in this film that they weren't sure if Lauren could really act because she was so beautiful. So they had another character that got a lot of lines, but when they saw the talent of Lauren Bacall, they gave her more scenes and lines and took them away from the other actors because Lauren is fantastic in this. And in fact, the way Howard Hawks is always able to get to the bottom of it, he saw promise in Lauren Bacall just like he did with Marilyn Monroe. This scene here is listed as one of the most famous scenes from a movie with one of the most quoted lines of dialogue ever. And this is where he's finding out that Lauren Bacall is an actress not to be reckoned with, and he saw it before everybody else did. Here she is, a temptress and seducing Humphrey Bogart. Oh, it's so good.
You don't have to say anything and you don't have to do anything. Not a thing. Oh, maybe just whistle. You know how to whistle, don't you, Steve? You just put your lips together and blow.
Then in 1941, the year he was Oscar nominated for a different movie, he did Ball of Fire. This movie is so fun and funny, and it stars Gary Cooper as a professor with 7 other professors who are working on an encyclopedia. They're kind of like the 7 Dwarfs. Well, they meet Barbara Stanwyck, who is so great in this film. She was in 4 films in 1941. She could have been Oscar nominated for any of them, but she was nominated for this one. And it's not just because Howard Hawks directed her to such a bravura performance, but he dug deep inside of her too. She's done comedy, she's done drama, but has she really done sexy before? So here she is as a burlesque star. She was a little, maybe outside of her comfort zone a little bit. She had a very established career by this time, but this movie just had us see her in a new light, and that's with the Howard Hawks touch. And Howard did His Girl Friday, a remake of The Front Page. Back in those early days, they didn't remake movies as much as they do now, so that was kind of taking a chance. But Cary Grant, who's been in like 6 Howard Hawks movies, is terrific in this as well. But Rosalind Russell, she's already showed she's a comedic actress and a dramatic actress, but she's never shown physical slapstick comedy. And she kept turning to him for his approval, but he never gave it to her. So he made her trust her own instincts, and she gives a very funny, wonderful performance in this great classic film, which many think is better than the original The Front Page. What do you think? Oh, speaking of Cary Grant, Howard Hawks also directed him in Bringing Up Baby, which to me is one of the funniest films ever made. Now, he fought the studio on this because he focused more on the comedy rather than the rom-com aspect. They didn't want Cary Grant in glasses. He looks too nerdy. And also, Katharine Hepburn, one of the greatest actresses of our time, she never really did comedy before this. No one thought she could be so funny and physical about it because she did more drama and classics, but she's a riot in this movie, as is Cary Grant. This is one of the funniest movies you will ever see in your life. And if you haven't seen it, you gotta watch it. Oh, there's a leopard. There's actually two. We all know Scarface with Al Pacino, right? But did you know that was a remake of a Howard Hawks movie? Back in the very early 30s, he did this film, which was not the norm to have so much violence in 1932, but he did it. It's about the mafia, it's about deceit, it's about a good time at the movies. I will tell you, Paul Muni, really terrific in this. He should have been up for an Oscar, but this is kind of overlooked at the time. Maybe it's too violent back then for them, but I think it's fantastic. Another one of the funniest films ever made is 20th Century, which actually should have been an Oscar nomination for John Barrymore, who was never nominated. Oh, he's so terrific in this, but he's matched by the young, no one knew before this really, Carole Lombard, who went on to be one of the funniest actresses we will always remember of her time. She died young, so people that don't know history of films don't wonder, Carole who? But she is a comedic gem that's done so many great movies. She also does a lot of great dramas. But this is what put her on the map. It was Howard Hawks who discovered her comedic side and took advantage of it in this great film. Well, that's our show of the week. I hope you share and subscribe and come back. And please go to the Criterion channel and check out these great movies as well as other movies. It's just a download away. As we leave, we're looking at, I don't know why it's not on the Criterion channel this month, Howard Hawks' only Oscar nomination was for Sergeant York, which won other Oscars but not Best Director. It's a great film. You've got to catch this too. You got to catch them all. Let me know what you think and tell me what else you discovered when you're on the Criterion channel. But I will see you next week. So thanks so much. Bye-bye.